Welcome to the Engerati studio. We are located at European Utility Week, and I'm Denise from Engerati. And in the studio with us today we have Anna from CGI. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for being here.
And tell me how the event has been for you. It's now the last day, a couple of hours left to go now. What has been your experience?
Well, I think it was a really good experience, basically because it gave us the opportunity with the demonstrations that we have at our booth to showcase the combination of unique skills we have. So we are a typical systems integrator with quite renowned for our mission critical projects we deploy, but also for our extensive IP-based solutions. So we are SI and also a software vendor.
Great, okay. What would you say your market differentiator is?
So I like to say actually that we are quite unique in the combination of knowledge and experiences we have from both the information technology side and operational technology. And the IP-based solutions that we have actually are a proof of that. For example, when we combine the field and the smart meters with the enterprise back office systems.
Right. Okay. Before the interview started, we were talking about a survey, the global customer survey of this year. Do you want to expand a little bit on the findings, maybe take out some really interesting pointers and perhaps give us an idea of what CGI has learned from it and is probably maybe even going to change strategy around that as a result?
Yeah. So this survey is a key element of our management foundation framework that standardizes processes on how we work with our clients all across the world. And this survey this year that we do annually across the globe to 10 global industries was based on almost 1,000 in-person client interviews. And these are fundamental as we collect important insight around key industry trends, business implications and IT priorities that help CGI shape our thinking and strategy and how we evolve our portfolio towards better serve our customer needs.
Great. And what were the biggest takeaways from this particular survey?
Well, an important key finding all across the industry, so we are talking about almost 1,000 in-person client interviews, was that our clients are finding difficult to keep in balance what it seems to be two disparate objectives. In one hand, the IT is being asked to keep up with running the business many times with multiple legacy systems and siloed old processes not fit for purpose anymore. But on the other hand, it's recognized that they have a very important role in supporting the digital business transformation. And that's of course critical in utilities as we move to a low carbon economy and the utilities need to move to transition to a new energy system and also to start engaging with customers in a more digital fashion.
Yeah, absolutely.
And our survey actually showed that only 18% of the IT budget is currently being allocated to the transformation of the business. So that leaves a lot of room for getting efficiencies across
the energy, sorry to interrupt you, but is that just the energy industry or is that across?
This figure is all across the industry.
Right.
And actually that leaves out a lot of room for efficiencies that can then be used to finance the transformation of the business.
Absolutely. And I mean, when we look at Europe, the European region, do you think that they're on the right track as far as this transformation is concerned? I mean, what are the challenges and perhaps what opportunities are they missing out on?
I think it varies across the value chain.
Yeah.
So a key trend we got from our survey was customer experience. Right. So this has been risen over the years around our survey, and this year we had 60% of the respondents saying that this was a key IT trend, and actually both in Europe and in North America, which was surprising because the market structures are so different, and in North America we have more regulated markets. But they all have a big conscience about customer experience. Inevitably, the drivers are different, right? So in Europe, we see our utilities clients more concerned with churn, and that is driving replacements and improvements of the customer information systems, looking into more also how to leverage the digital customer channels.
We were talking earlier just about, active asset management. We were talking about solutions in that space. Do you want to just touch on that a little bit for us?
Sure. And that's really important because in this survey, one of the key top priorities was digital transformation, which was quite new in this in the survey from this year.
Right.
And we had 60% of the respondents. So also important in these findings were that they were defining two big challenges on how to digitize their businesses.
Right.
The first one was actually the internal resistance and the difficulties in converging and putting more together teams, both from the IT/OT departments, because they have so different traits and characteristics. And the second challenge was around data management, how to have a single version of the truth, avoiding data duplication and allowing for all the data to be more easily and more democratically accessible by a wide number of stakeholders. So at our booth we have a demonstration of how our IoT platform can actually support getting hold of different sources of data. So looking into the real-time data coming from SCADA, OSI soft and other sensoring devices, collecting data systems, and integrating that data with enterprise asset management data, which is more static, right? And then through the combination of these, through our IoT platform, to be able to have, to be able to deploy more condition-based maintenance strategies, more on real time. So for example, the use case we have is one where if a transformer starts having some technical problems, maybe you should go immediately with a team to repair it before it finally has a major event and it only appears then in the outage management system. So if you do this, the repair will be less costly, so you are reducing your OPEX and you are increasing the lifetime of your assets. So actually you will be reducing your CapEx simultaneously.
Yes, I mean it's all about reducing a reactive response, isn't it? It's all about being a couple of steps ahead, whether it's from a digital point of view, asset management, customer engagement. Utilities need to really be seen that they are a few steps ahead. Am I right in saying that? And are they doing that?
They are, and we see a lot of interest around data analytics. So what I have explained to you actually is IoT and then data analytics applied on top of it, so that you have a better visibility of what is happening in your network real time, and you can do more timely decisions instead of, for example, on the case I was giving, just having maintenance done on a frequency time basis without really knowing if you need it or not to go and maintain that asset earlier or later.
Oh, what is CGI's vision for the utility of the future? And what are the main steps that they should be following?
So we actually released recently our optimized network utility vision, through which we envision a holistic deployment of all smart grid related technologies. So for us this is fundamental. In the past years we have seen more of the deployment of these newer technologies, but looking only at one single value driver, such as reducing the cost of meter readings. But actually all these new technologies, if they are thought of in an interconnected way, they can deliver so much value. The data can be so better exploited.
Of course.
And actually the IoT example I've just gave you for asset management is a great example of that. The data already exists, the SCADA data already exists, the asset management data already exists. It's about how to bring all that together and give you more information so that you can act faster.
And quality information at that, for sure.
For sure.
My last question to you, what would be your final advice as you leave the event today? What would be your parting advice to the utility space?
Right. Well, I actually think that in terms of IT solutions, the space is a little bit crowded and confusing, as so many companies try to untap the new technologies and new opportunities. I actually think that going back again to our holistic vision, that utilities must have this vision on how they are going to be in the future, and that actually will depend from case to case. We say there is not one single recipe on how to get into a smarter grid. So it's important that utilities pilot, that they understand what the technologies can really deliver in terms of benefits and return on investment, that they can define in which sequences they are going to deploy all these technologies, and that they look into the future on how the choices they made now in terms of technologies will impact further, because with so many market regulation changes, we think that utilities need more flexible systems, systems that can cater for all these changes. And actually, we think, and this is what we are doing a lot with many of our utilities clients, that there is more the need of co-creating the solutions as we try to cover the gaps between the conventional software systems and the new market requirements. And analytics is actually a great case of that. What are the use cases that really deliver a benefit and return on investment?
Sounds like sound advice to me. And I think we've got about an hour or two left of the event, but I hope it was very useful and enjoyable, and that I'm sure we will see you next year at the event. And to our viewers, thank you so much for joining us. There are other interviews that you can have a look at that have been aired during the last 3 days. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.